On today's podcast, we are joined by another returning guest, the very fantastic Mia Aseltine. We talk about her goals for the season, some races she's targeting in particular, and what her European plans are for now that Trek USC X series is over. Plus, much, much more. So, sit back and enjoy. If you like this, then please check out all the other amazing interviews we have done. Please give this a like so more people get a chance to see it, and consider subscribing so you see all our latest episodes when they are released.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not doing too badly. It's different this year. Last time I interviewed you and you were in Belgium or Netherlands, I forget which. Um,
Yeah, the Netherlands.
yes. And now we're in what looks to be quite a sunny day in the US.
Yeah, I'm in where am I? I'm in Massachusetts now, so kind of
Oh,
been all
nice.
over recently.
Yeah. I guess this is still part of your studies. Are you still at uni still at the moment?
Yeah, I'm in my third year at uni, so kind of trying to do school and cross at the same time, which is interesting, but it's going.
Yeah, how do you find combining that? Because obviously you're racing people like I can't even remember who's won. Like, was it Hélène Clauzel? I might have made that name up even.
Yeah,
But
or
like
yeah.
proper like bona fide cyclocross like people who do it almost professionally, I would argue. And then you're like getting top tens against them, and you're having to combine school or university, as us Brits would call it, and cyclocross at the same time. So how are you finding that combination?
It's interesting. I mean, I've been doing online school recently, so that makes it a lot easier. Like, I don't have to go to in-person classes or meetings, and I don't have to worry about flying back to university in Colorado from the East Coast like every weekend. So it's not too bad this year. Um, but yeah, it still is kind of a lot. And like when we're driving back from the races at like 11 p.m. or whatever, I'm trying to like finish a paper that's due that night. So it's just a special case scenario, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like two questions. Firstly, is like I'm guessing that's why you're in Massachusetts, because obviously a lot of the racing it tends to be East Coast. Like you had Rochester, you've got Charm City. I think that's also East Coast, and like certainly it comes across that a lot of US cyclocross is the East sort of seaboard, um, relatively speaking. Colorado is nowhere near. That's in like mountain time, I want to say. Like that's
Yes, yeah.
proper like across the country. Um, so is that why you've moved, or why you're currently in Massachusetts, or what's fueling that decision?
Yeah, so Compedge Racing is based out of Western Mass. So I'm just staying with my team director. So we just drive back and forth to the races every week, and it makes travel a lot less expensive. And um, yeah, I mean, getting to all the races a lot less logistically challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. The sort of follow-up question from what I was going to ask before, because I've thought of two more since then. What are you actually studying? 'Cause I think we have discussed this before, but I've already forgotten, so apologies on that front.
Well, it's probably a different answer than before because I have changed my major twice. But now, and I'm going to stick with this one, I'm studying business analytics.
Wow. Okay. And this time you mean it. You really are going to stick with it.
I have to, otherwise, I'm going to be in school for like the next 10 years.
God. Um, But yeah, so my other questions that were coming from it are like, are you a good passenger? If your team, I assume the team director's doing most of the driving. Like, are you a good passenger for them?
I like to think so. I mean, when we were driving back from Charm City, which is in Baltimore, I drove for like an hour through New York City, which was like the most stressful driving ever, even though it was super late at night and I was exhausted from racing. But the team director was still pretty tired. So I was like, yeah, I'll drive. So I like to think I'm like an okay passenger.
And what's like who gets to control the music and what's on the playlist when you're in control, what are you putting on?
Oh, good question. I like to listen to a lot of like Noah Kahan and like
Mhm.
Gregory Alan Isakov. I don't know how you say his last name really, but just like chill music with like nice instrumentals and like just a chill vibe when I'm driving.
Oh, nice. Well, that's good to know. And yeah, how's the season going so far? Because obviously we're kind of a couple of weekends in, I guess.
Yeah,
World Cups haven't started at the point of recording. So yeah, how's the racing been so far?
it's been good. It's nice to have a good start to the season. Um, yeah, I feel pretty good about where I'm at right now, and getting some top tens has been really nice. So yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. Like certainly, I will admit because you're a former guest, I always look for you in the results if I know you've been racing. I'll be like,
Aw.
oh, how's Mia done? And like, I think you're fairly consistently on the lead lap, regardless of finishing position. And
Yeah,
then
I've been on lead lap in every race so far this year, which is great.
yeah, I mean, that's a great record. Like some people, I've, I mean, I've only done one cyclocross race, but I've never been on the lead lap. So, I mean, I started on the lead lap, but nowhere near at the finish.
Oh,
Um, and yeah, like seeing that I think you were seventh at Charm City. Um, I, there was a couple of top tens at Rochester, which ironically is the course that kicked off this kind of friendship, if you will, and me
right.
interviewing you.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, like, where do you actually measure success though? Like, is is it the placing? Is it the being on the lead lap? Is it something entirely different? Like, what is success for you in racing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, the results usually like always have something to do with it, but I mean, most of the time I can tell like from my effort, like if it was a good effort or if it was like kind of a not so good effort. Like if I felt bad and I was further back in the results than I normally was, like I can kind of be like, okay, like that's not a very good day, or like I kept making mistakes. But I mean, if I feel good a lot of times and I'm just like, yeah, like I try my best, I can still normally say that's a good day, even if I'm not that far up in the results. I don't know.
Hmm.
It kind of differs.
Yeah, certainly. And obviously, we're saying that you're getting all these top tens, but you're getting podiums as well because under 23 category means that
Right.
you're getting to stand on the podium in some regard. Um, it, is it a realistic ambition of yours to perform well at the nationals? I assume you're going for the under 23 category. Um,
Yes.
I guess like what's your aim with that race?
I want to win nationals this year. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the goal.
I mean, yeah. I love the energy behind that. Actually, you kind of stunned me into silence because it's like, yeah, I want to win. Done. You know, are
Yeah,
you?
I mean, I'm sure everyone that does nationals like wants to win, but I mean, this year I feel really strong, and I mean, the start of the season, it always like changes. Like nationals isn't for another 3 months or something. So, I mean, it's a long ways away, but right now I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident, and we'll just see where it goes.
Yeah, of course. But as I said, I love that. Like, yeah. Um, are you then aiming for world selection? Is that like, do you even think that far ahead in the season, or where's your head at with that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've kind of thought through the whole season, I guess, and I would like to go to Worlds. Yeah, Worlds would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, how did you find it last time? Because I think we spoke before Tabor. We didn't really speak afterwards. So, what was your world's experience like last time going to Czechia?
It was weird because I mean, I had mono like last November to Worlds basically, and I did Zonhoven and my results weren't that great. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get selected for Worlds. I'm done. I'm gonna take some time off. And like mentally after Zonhoven, I was just done with my cross season. But then I got the call and I was like, hey, you've actually been selected for Worlds. And I was like, oh, that's great. So then, I mean, obviously, I decided to go, and Tabor was so hard. And yeah, it was just kind of weird because I was pretty burnt out by that point and kind of ready to be done, and I wasn't expecting to go. So it was just kind of like, yeah, screw it. I'm just gonna go and have fun, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I certainly, if it was a great experience for you, regardless of how you felt going into it, you kind of make the most out of it, in many regards. What are obviously, we've just said that you're winning nationals, you're getting selected for the worlds. What else is on the radar for you this season? You say you've planned it all out. Like, yeah, what are the plans?
Um, well, right, good question. I'm gonna go to Europe in December for the Corset period block, and I mean, I want to finish lead lap in the World Cups and all those other like super prestige and X2O Bad Commerce races over there. Um, yeah, I think that's probably like the biggest thing.
Yeah, like which World Cups are you doing? Because I remember last time you mentioned that like Namur is one of your favorite courses, and I think that just lines up with
It's
when you're
Nationals
around.
weekend.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'm gonna miss that one. I'm so sad.
oh gosh. And then the next one's like Italy somewhere. Like I don't think they've ever used that course before, but I could be wrong.
I think uh that one's in like Sardinia, right? I think.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. Looking at the name,
Yeah, I think that one's right before oh my gosh, what's it called? The Spain one. Um
no,
Benidorm.
yeah,
Yeah, Benidorm. I think it's
yeah.
like the weekend before that. So I don't think I'll be going to the Italy one, sadly.
You'll be going to Benidorm.
Yes.
Which that's amazing because in terms of British culture, there's like it's a very popular holiday resort. Um, there's even a sitcom, like a TV show made about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just about. I've vaguely watched it. It wasn't my site kind of thing. It might be on Netflix somewhere, I guess.
Mm.
But yeah, sort of, I guess parodying a bit of Brits going abroad to there. Um, And yeah, but I seem to recall this quite obviously dry, being Spain. Um, it's kind of like the antithesis of what you've said is a good course for you. Um, because like you said, like you prefer it kind of muddy and where it's hard going and there's bits of running, and I think Benidorm's not quite that, but I mean it's still an experience. So yeah, which races are you kind of gunning for? Do you know which ones you're obviously you want to get lead lap on everywhere, but are there any that you're like, oh, I have to do this one?
Um, Gosh, I don't know the calendar off the top of my head, but I know that we're gonna do Zonhoven and Holst, and I did Zonhoven last year. It was amazing. I freaking
Mhm.
love that course. So yeah, that one for sure. And then, I mean, Holst, I've never been able to do it, but I'm gonna do it this next year, and I'm so excited for that. So yeah.
Wow. And what's it like at Zonhover? Because that's got the infamous sort of sandbank called Tequil, which is like just a sheer drop almost. What's it like going down that?
It's insane. You just kind of
Really?
have to like send it, I guess, and just be like, well, I'm just gonna do this now, and if I crash, I'm just gonna crash. But
Yeah. 'Cause
yeah.
is it different? I guess it is different in training versus racing it, but like, do you even perceive what's going on when you're racing? Do you just go, well, I'm sending it regardless? Like, I can't just brake, stop, and kind of walk gingerly down in front of crowds.
Yeah, I mean, in the race, they're just like, well, I guess I'm just doing this now, so here we go. It's like a roller coaster. You're like at the top, you're like, well, I'm strapped in, I can't get off. So,
Oh
yeah.
God. Yeah. Do you even try and steer, or do you just do you just go, well, it's in God's hands. We'll see where I am at the bottom.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, that's pretty much what you do in sand, because if you like try and turn your wheel, you're gonna go down. So you just kind of get your ass back and pray and kind of like sort of aim for the line that you want and just go from there, honestly. See where you end up at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone who's not seen it, you should definitely try and check it out. It's a heck of a race course in general, um, and that's the most kind of spectacular. The sort of top level pros make it look so quick and so easy, and like no one ever really crashes. And then some of the people at the back kind of aren't as confident in the sand, I guess. And that's where sometimes you see crashes. And yeah, watching them on slow mo though, I don't know if you've ever watched the races back, um, but like I swear they kind of do a replay of the crash if someone goes down there,
Yeah,
and
I
then
think
they'll
so.
slow it right down. It's like you don't have to do that to them. Like you can be kind and just not, but
No,
it makes good TV, I guess.
I think everyone's crashed on the sand there. Like I saw Fem, Van Empel crash, like big people crash on it too.
Mm. Oh yeah, like it's just yeah, it's as I say, it's a legendary course, and yeah, certainly one of my favorites to watch. Um, so are you going just I guess privately, just as yourself? Are you going with a few people and making it a group thing? Because I
I'm
know
going with the team.
the whole team's going.
Yep.
Gosh. So I guess yeah, who else is in the team? So for any fans wanting to watch other Americans, and if they see a comp edge kit, they go, well, it could be Mir, it could be
Right.
many other people who I don't actually know the names of yet because that's on me. So who should we look out for from your team?
Okay, so we have Eric Brunner,
Mhm.
um, Lauren Zerner, Anna McGailey, Dylan Zakryshek, Cody Scott, Ethan Del Grosso, Caitlin Walcroft, and Henry Coote.
Wow, I could sense the stress on that last one because
I
how embarrassing would it be to forget
was like,
someone?
oh my God, I'm missing someone. I only have seven. Yeah.
I mean, at least you knew everyone. So certainly, if you see that black kit with the red writing, then you know who to cheer on. Um, so yeah, that's going to be insane. A whole group of you going because it could be easy just to go on your own, but a whole group is really good things for the scene, and for America in general. Like, just I guess, because I don't know if you ever read like in cycling news, they always had this sort of Euro cross camp. Um, I think I've misremembered
Right.
the name, but that sort of thing where they
Hmm.
take like five or so under 23s across and let them experience it. Um, was that something that you ever read and kind of did it inspire you, or yeah, kind of what inspired you to get as far as you have in cyclocross?
Um, well, I mean, I've known about Eurocross Academy ever since I was a junior. That's the program that takes over
Mm,
athletes. They mostly geared it towards juniors this year, but or I guess all the time actually. They're mostly focused on junior development. And when I was a junior, I was lucky enough to go over with the national team. So I never really got the opportunity to go with them to Europe, but it seems like a really cool program. And Jeff Proctor, who's the guy that runs it, he's a really cool guy and they do a great job. And yeah, I mean, it's super inspiring. And if I was a junior, I would definitely want to go with them.
Yeah, but even then, your testament that you don't have to go on it to be successful because you're insanely successful without having done it yourself. You've done it in a different way. And I think that's great that there's so many different routes in cycling to get to the top. It's kind of like there is a level of meritocracy in cycling, as much as it can be elitist as well. Like there is a level where the good talent will always get to the top somehow. I think that's great. Um, Kind of rewinding a huge amount, and I meant to ask this earlier, but um, when you're out training, because obviously it's hard to mix school and being an athlete, um, like what are you focusing on? Are you trying to do the base miles? Are you more having to do like 1 2 hour rides to kind of really pack in the content and the quality, or like yeah, what does training look like for you? I guess is the question at the heart.
Right. It really depends on the time of year. Like now when we're in the cross season, like you do cross like two cross races like back to back to back every weekend. It's just during the week training is pretty straightforward. Like you recover for like Monday and Tuesday, and then you do like 2 hours with intervals on Wednesday, and then you recover from that on Thursday, and then get ready to race on Friday. And that's just kind of the weekly routine. No super long rides or anything like that. But in the off season, yeah, definitely throw in a lot of endurance there. Um, that's not too hard with school because I can do school at night if I want to because it's online, so I can kind of time it with my rides and everything. But
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And one question, I've not really asked this to others, so you're kind of a guinea pig in that sense. Um, what's your sort of snack of choice when you're riding? Do you go sweet? Do you go savory? Do you go energy gel and bars? Do you go something a bit more foody, if you will? Um, yeah, what's going in the back pocket?
Good question. When I'm training, I hate gels and like, oh, they're just nasty. I can't do them when I'm training.
Really?
Yeah, so I'll usually opt for either like a granola bar or just like something kind of simple. Sour Patch Kids are like my favorite. I freaking love Sour Patch Kids. Um, what else? Oh yeah, if I can make just like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I'll usually bring that. I like real food versus just like gels and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Um, Two things that interest me there. So firstly, the fact that you call it jelly, obviously peanut butter and jelly is like known as a thing, but like in the UK we'd just call that jam. Like jelly's different. Um,
Oh,
yeah, jelly's like a dessert that you'd make with like gelatin, and it's usually flavored, but you wouldn't put it in a sandwich.
like Jello, kind of?
Yeah, yeah, it's that. So
Okay.
our jelly is Jello, and
Okay.
your jelly is our jam. Um, so yeah, it's very weird. But mind you, like American jelly or jam is like it's different. I can't explain because I've had it, and it's like I just feel like there's nothing to it almost. We sometimes have like proper fruit bits in, like the strawberry jam has actual strawberries in it, and like or
Right.
seeds sometimes, and all sorts. Um, there's a lot more going on, I feel, with UK jam versus US jelly.
Like you can tell
Um,
it's from real fruit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can even get like marmalade, which is kind of a similar thing where you've got like orange rind in it. So it's just like
Right.
random bits of orange peel just stuck in your jelly, I guess. Um, but like obviously Sour Patch Kids, they're being your favorite. I think that they're not as prominent over here. But what I would say is if anyone does want to, you know, bring a gift if they happen to be going to a bike race that Mia's at, then now we know what to bring you. Um, hopefully that encourages people, and you'll have Sour Patch Kids coming out your ears by the end of it.
Sour Patch Kids are amazing. I would
I know.
love some Sour Patch Kids.
Why? I guess are they just like gelatine, like jelly baby type things, but kind of sour, I guess, and with sugar on the sides? Is that
Yeah,
am I imagining right?
I think so. Yeah.
Nice. They do sound good though. I quite like a sour sweet.
You've never had them?
No, just
What?
we don't need to. Like because partly because they're not here. I've seen them in
Right.
shops, but like, yeah, I'll be
You
honest.
have to try them sometime.
I
If
don't
you
trust
ever come to the
American.
US, you have to try Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, 'cause, I've had Jelly Belly. They're like they've made it in a big way, and they're always nice. But then I had Hershey's, and that
Well,
not for
compared to
me.
European chocolate, like Hershey's is, you have to like lower your expectations when you come to America a little bit.
Oh, see, someone bought like you can buy them in UK shops. I don't know why anyone would
Yeah.
particularly, but you can buy them. And I know someone did at my old job, and we had a load, and mine went to the bin because I tried it a bit, and I couldn't even eat it. Like it's not as good. Sorry, I hate to. I don't want to start international like difficulties over this, but
No, it's fine. I hate American food. It's like, yeah, we're in the trenches over here with food.
well, in which case, what are you looking forward to having when you go back to Europe? Like, what are you making a beeline for?
Everything. Like the bread and the cheese is just, it's better. Like, I don't know. And gas station coffee over there is like actually good. So if you're tired from driving, you can just go to a gas station and get coffee and it's like drinkable, which is crazy. Like you could never do that in the US. Um, oh gosh, what else? Um, I don't know why I like can't think of any other foods. Oh yeah, chocolate for sure. Um, I don't know, kind of like everything over there is better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you do frites as well as the Belgians ever would. Um,
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not.
well, I'm sure you'll get big points as a in Belgium for that. Um, yeah, frites and beer. That's kind of a way to go if you are a drinker. Um, I know some people listening might not be, and that's fair enough.
Well, I'm
Um,
not old enough to in the US, so
oh God, that makes me feel so old because I thought you were like aging out of the under 23 category. If I'm honest, just
I still got next year too.
so you're gonna win it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, gosh, you'll be back to back US champion. Well, that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
God, oh no, that makes me feel ancient almost.
Oh.
Like my back suddenly hurts now.
Oh no.
Shame. But no, I guess all that's left to say, while we've digressed in many different directions, are like, where can people watch you? What's your next couple of races coming up? I'm gonna guess you're racing this weekend because it's America. There's always a double header every weekend at the moment. So, what's next on the agenda?
Yeah, so I'll be in Waterloo, Wisconsin this weekend, and then I'm headed back to Colorado for a little break to be back home with my dog. And then I'll go
Just your dog,
to,
not your,
oh, and my
nah, not
parents.
your parents.
They're gonna be
Nah.
listening to this and they're gonna be like, why didn't you mention us? Um, no, definitely my parents. They're super important too. And Let's see. Oh yeah, so I spent a week and a half there, and then I'm going to Ohio for King's Cross, and then Really Rad, and then Pan Am's in Missoula.
Wow. Yeah. So you could be a national and international champion. I guess continental you'd call it, but
Yeah, that'd be
wow.
nice.
And I'd love to see that as well. How are you feeling about Waterloo? Because that has been used as a World Cup, so people might be familiar with it. That's the one that's near Trek headquarters, right? Because that's where they're based.
Yep.
Yeah, how are you feeling about Waterloo?
I love the Waterloo course. I think it's so fun. I kind of hope it's muddy because last year when it was muddy, it was just insane. But either way, it's a great weekend. We're gonna hang out with the Trek people and um, maybe like pet some cows in the little petting zoo that they always have. So yeah, I'm hyped.
They have cows in a petting zoo?
Yes, last year they had like this little petting zoo and they had a donkey, they had cows, they had little baby chicks and like a rooster and they had pigs and goats, I think. It was
Wow.
amazing.
That sounds incredible.
Oh yeah.
Um, and you ride a Trek, right? Am I misremembering, or no? You do
Yeah.
ride a Trek. Wow.
Mm.
So that'll be nice, getting to see where your bike was built, technically,
Oh
or
yeah.
thought of, or however conceived, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Um, wow, that's going to be exciting. Well, yeah. How can people keep up with you in social media if they haven't listened to the last time we chatted, um, or just want to re-remember without going and rewatching that one?
Yeah, sorry, I totally forgot to answer that question.
No, it's good.
Probably like Instagram is
Yeah.
where I do most of my social media. I don't really post on my TikTok account anymore. Um, yeah, Instagram.
Instagram the place to go then. Yeah, other places are like a little dying in terms of social media. I'll
Yeah,
take the brunt of saying that. Um, so yeah, Instagram is the place to be, and that will be on screen right now. So you can see what Mia's Instagram is. And obviously go follow the team as well because that one will follow here. Um, and all that's left for me to say is I wish you the best of luck at Waterloo, at all the World Cups you're doing, at the under 23 nationals that you're going to win this year and next year, at the Pan Ams, and just everything you do, really.
well, thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
I hope you enjoyed listening as much as we did recording it. And until next time, see you!